I'm Susan Colbert. I'm the clinical director over at Nova Vital. Well, I myself am in recovery, and I have been in school, I was in school for a very long time, trying to work with other people that are in need of healing.
What inspires you to keep in this field?
You know, I see people out. I see people out in public or in various places where they're leading normal lives, and they were clients here. They've come through here. I saw them in the depths of despair, where they were raw and in this terrible withdrawal cycle, becoming free from addiction. And then I see them go on, they lead their lives, they have families, they're being productive citizens, and they're giving back to society.
What have you learned about triggers and cravings that makes it meaningful or exciting to explore that topic with clients?
You know, what I'm amazed at is that everybody has a different picture of triggers. Everyone's is a little bit different. Sometimes I hear people go, well, you know, I can't use baby powder because it triggers me. And I'm like, wow, okay. You just never know. Whereas an internal trigger may end up being somebody getting bored. So I'm always interested and always intrigued to hear what people start identifying as the triggers for them.
Trauma triggers, there are the triggers that quite often we're dealing with trauma that are their trauma triggers are also their triggers for drugs and alcohol.
Yeah, because they're trying to change the way they feel. And so it can be any kind of sensory trigger. And that what happens is the body has attached to some particular type of trigger, which is then going to induce a physical craving.
Sure. I'd like to thank our clinical director, Susan, for sharing her thoughts about triggers and cravings. I think that was very valuable. I'm Morgan Moulthrop. I'm the curriculum director at Nova Vital. So now we're going to dive a little deeper into our workbook and look at some exercises that you can do by yourself or you can do with the group. On the first page, there's some definitions. A trigger is anything, a thought, a feeling, or a situation that makes you suddenly want to use again. Think of it like the spark that lights a reaction. Now, we divide triggers into two kinds. Internal triggers, things that happen inside of you, stress, boredom, shame, loneliness. And then there are the external triggers, things around you, the people, the places, the smells, the songs. Payday can be a trigger. A craving is what happens next. It's the strong urge that follows the spark. In simple terms, the trigger is what sets it off, and the cravings are those strong wantings that follow it. Next, let's look at how triggers and cravings work together over time. Now, our brains form powerful links between triggers and cravings. The good news, with awareness and practice, you can retrain your brain to ride out cravings without giving in. Cravings always peak and then they pass. Next, we did some research on the difference between opioid use and triggers, triggers and the meth triggers. And what we found out was pretty interesting. So no matter what you use or how you use it, for everyone, the emotional triggers are really the toughest. So how do we manage that? And that's covered on the next page. We can't always control what triggers us, but we can control how we respond. So check out the tools. There's really nothing surprising here. Mindfulness, meditation, breathing. Just stay busy with what you love. Hobbies, music, service, exercise, nutrition, and sleep. We can't say these things too much. Now, one of our counselors, Suwana, loves the urge surfing, so we included that too. Check that out. At first, the wave feels strong, but the longer you stay on it, the more it softens. So by staying with your feelings instead of reacting, you prove to yourself that you can survive the craving without using. So there's also this fun page in the workbook where you can fill out the boxes and identify your own internal and external triggers. And then you'll create a personalized coping cards. Do this. They're like these little small reminders that you can carry anywhere. Maybe ask your counselor if you can do that for this week's project, because you might need that for building your own relapse prevention toolkit, which is your personalized plan for staying on track when life gets stressful. So maybe for your project, you present your own toolkit visually, creatively, or as a teaching exercise. Show how you plan to stay balanced even when life throws curveballs. And remember, recovery isn't about avoiding every craving, it's about learning to face them differently or to surf with them. So here's our reflection question for today. What triggers me most often, and what new coping skill can I practice this week? Y'all have an incredible week at Nova Life. You've got this. Let's get to work.